Okay, let's go in and create some filters. So again, we're back over into Dashboard Designer, and let's go up here to Performance Point Content, and I'll right click again, and I'm going to go New Filter. And now as the wizard pops on up, I have my different selections I can create down here for my filters. So either a custom table, and as you see, or an MDX query if I have a MDX query they want to run, or a member selection meaning I'm going into my cube and I'm bringing back one of the members of the cube, something that can be aggregated. If I have a name set over into the cube, and then I also have time intelligence and a connection formula. So a time intelligence connection formula. So let's go in, and we're going to bring in from a member selection is the filter we're going to create. We'll say OK, and now again it's asking me for a member from what database, and I'm going to connect my connection into OLAP, select the member, and the filter measure down here, I can go in and I can select a dimension. Now here's all of my dimensions. So let's come through and we can select any of these. Let's go in and select, if I can find it, let's go in and select product, and dropping on down there, we're going to filter by product brand name. Okay, filter measure default measure in here, and I can come through there and I can select the different measures. Sales unit cost, which is the default member in here, and I'm going to take sales amount. Now select measures. Now as I drop down in here, select members that I want to select, and I'm going to select all products. Okay, and now I'll come through and select next. How do I select it on out? I can put it into a list or a tree or a multi-select tree. And we're going to go with this one. We're going to go a multi-select tree, and I'm going to finish out. Now my filter pops on up, and you see there's very little that I can do within here. I can come in and I would add a name into it, and what I would do in here is I come in and I'd add some type of a descriptive name, and I named it product brand. I'm going to put it into a display folder, and I'm going to create a new one, and we're going to call this Cleverly Filters. And we'll say OK. Now we're going to go in and we're going to use that filter. So let's go back over to one of those dashboards that we designed. And here's our dashboard in here. We've got the dashboard. This is the one with the, if you remember, we had the analytic chart and the analytical grid. So in the center here, I'm going to go in and add the filter that we just applied. So I'm going to take product brand, and I'm going to drop that filter on in. And now I'm going to go through and I'm going to deploy the dashboard so you can see it with the filter. I have not yet connected the filter. I'm going to do that in just a second. Deploy to SharePoint. Okay, so here in the center screen here is my filter, and I've selected all products up in here. And I can come down there. So you see here's the filter, and all products are selected, and it's not tied in yet. Let's go back and work with that. So I'm back into the filter. I'm going to edit the filter so that I don't just apply all products. I'm going to say edit filter down in here. And now when we're over, you see that filter members, I'm going to select members, and instead of all, what I want to be able to choose is I'm going to come down there and I'm going to select all of these, and that's good enough. So I'm going to be able to come through and I'm going to select them individually. I'm going to say OK down here, and I'll come in next, multi-select tree, and again we'll finish. Now we're going to save, and now let's switch back over to the dashboard. Okay, I redeployed the dashboard here, and again here's the filter, and I'm going to pull this down, and now you see I can come in, and this is that multi-select tree. I'm going to cancel out of that. Here was the original dashboard we have with no filter. Here it is with the filter that was just selected into all. And now I changed that filter, redeployed it. And now I can come through and I can select whatever it is I want. I'm going to cancel out of that. Now let's go through and tie this filter into the charts so that it actually does some filtering. Okay, now I'm back over and I'm looking into my dashboard. I'm going to, in the filter, going to click member unique name, and I'm going to drag that on over, and I'm going to drop it here, and then I'll pop up. So connect product to member unique name. Member unique name was the brands in this instance that we came through and recreated, because that was the members that we selected back when we were coming through and creating the filter. So let's say OK. All right, and now let's redeploy this dashboard once again. By the way, this is, in my view, this is a good way to do it, so you can see your progress as you come on through. You can delete these. All right, notice now we have the blob up here like this, whereas before we had it filtered. Let's go back over. Sales amount by product subsets. All right, and now we have a filter applied. And let's come through, and I've selected several of these. I've selected Contoso, Litwear, and whoever these people are. And we'll say apply down here now. And now you see the filter has been applied. So I have sales amount by product, right? And now I have it drop down here like this, and here's my different suppliers. Notice this one is not filtered. If I wanted to filter that, all I would do is member unique name, and I would drop it here. I'm going to say OK. And then I can also, you see this apply filters button. If you don't see that, then you're not running a service pack 1. Let's, what I would do is I can apply that. Just a second and I'll show you that. All right, to give myself a spot that I can apply this filter, I'm going to go into the center column here. I'm going to right click and I'm going to split the zone. So now I have another zone down here, frankly, which is why it doesn't matter which template you pick. And I'm going to take this apply button and I'm going to drop it down there like this. And now what we have is the grid, or sorry, the filter is applied to both of these charts. And also I have an apply button down here. So now let's deploy it one more time. Okay, you see there's that apply filters in that zone, and so now let's pick this on down, and now we're going to clear that out and just put some different things in here so that we have, and we're going to click apply, and now I'm going to click apply filters, which is when the filter is actually applied. Notice now both are filtered. That is, both the charts now are filtered. So this allows the user to come through and to pick these filters and apply them to different, again, apply filters. That's when it actually happens rather than clicking the apply button. I know that's a little confusing, but that's when it happens in here. So this is another way of coming through and being able to change the visible representation. Again, we could still use the decomposition tree. So now we're down here and we're looking at Litwear, which is where I just said to decompose from. And if I ever click in the right thing, so I'm going to compose Litwear by geography, that's the brand. And we'll go in there to state province name, which ought to give me a bunch. Pause. Okay, and you see here's my state province, so here's Colorado, and again if I click on the bottom of Colorado I can come down here and I can look at, say, the store, and down here we'll look for store name. And so now I'm looking at Litwear in Colorado by the store name, Denver, Sedalia, and all those other places, and I can continue. Golly. Continue to decompose, and now I can come down here and I can look by date, and you've got it. So calendar quarter. So I'm bringing this on down. So this is just another way. So you can apply up in here or on the different charts, or you can come through and do a decomposition. Now, remember the way I showed you this? I came through and I created the charts. Then I went through and I added the filter. And then I went through and I changed the filter from all to a subset. Cancel. Then I went in through and I changed the filter again, right? Because I tied the two together. And then finally I went through and I added the apply filters, and this is where I tied them both together so you can come through and see that. The advantage of your filters now is this filter that I have over here in PerformancePoint filters is I can reuse that in other charts, etc. So we can save those components up there into SharePoint and bring them on down.